Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tivera here, as always and as usual. Guys, in today's episode, we'll be discussing something very interesting, and I'm hanging out with my very good friend, which if you're a regular visitor in this channel or a regular subscriber, you would have seen his face because he's a friend of this channel and he's making his second appearance here to talk about something he knows very well. I'm talking about no other person than my good friend Mr. Kenny Egu. Mr. Kenny is a geologist right here in Enugu. He has his own private practice and he also consults for the government every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
So you're welcome. Thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Chivera. Good to be with you again after a long time.
Yeah, after a long time. Well, it's not been a long time because when he made his first appearance here, we talked about Enugu, water issues and all of that. And a lot of people from this channel reached out to him for his services. And so far, so good. Nobody has complained that he did something bad and all that. So that means his service has been top-notch and everything. Although I'll be leaving his details in case you're still interested in anything about him and for his services. But today, Mr. Kenny, we'll be discussing the promise of our amiable governor, if I'm going to use that word, Barrister Pitamba. He promised that in 180 days, every home in Enugu would have water. Being a geologist, being someone in that field, you've done a lot of water projects, you've done a lot of consultations, you've been to several parts of Enugu to determine how, like, if there's presence of water, how you can get water and all that. So, is it really feasible, his promise, that in 180 days, we'll say bye-bye to tanker?
Yeah, good question. Visibility, possibility, I mean, is in the mind, right?
Now I want it to be outside on the pipe.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
I commend the governor first for taking that bold step.
Okay.
I mean, in fact, I'm part of his volunteers. I'm volunteering my technical skills and volunteering my time to make sure that this works.
Okay.
Is working to see that that works. Yes, he put a timeline, and that is the most interesting part of it. He said 180 days. It's something that in this part of the country we are not used to.
Yeah.
We don't like putting a timeline. And in any fora he finds himself, he tries to retreat it and say in 180 days. And we're looking at about 97 days.
Yes, because today is the 83rd
Yeah.
day into his term.
Technically speaking, from my experience, yes. With the approach, we've spent over, I mean, he has spent over 80-something days, like 83 days.
Yeah.
And what the stage is at the generation stage.
Okay.
They've drilled about 22 boreholes, somewhere around 9th mile axis, between 9th mile and OG, and then...
Okay.
So,
because I wanted to find out what area, because we've not seen anything in Enugu Metropolis.
Exactly. So, yes, the part of the recommendation we gave is that, I mean, you can decide to go to where you have regional aquifer like the Ajali Formation, right there. I mean, where visibility studies have confirmed that you have adequate water right there. Okay. And part of what he's not doing is that he's not looking at the other side. We mentioned Enugu East, we mentioned Enugu North. All these areas, they all have potentials, but we'll come to that. So the possibility of achieving water in every home by 180 days is really not possible, as far as I'm concerned, technically speaking. Some people may have water. I mean, of course, those from the government quarters, they will not agree with me, but I must tell you, because if you spend 83 days generating alone, drilling boreholes, drilling boreholes is about the easiest thing because these are jobs done by machines.
Okay.
I can sink 50 boreholes in 1 month. I'll just deploy the technical requirement and whatever it takes, the technical know-how, and it's done. So the time spent already is almost about 50% of the time, going to 50%. So I expected that if you wanted to achieve that, while the generation is going on, the drilling is going on, the piping work should be going on. For instance, I mean, people in New Haven, people in GRA should have their pipes, either the spoiled pipes removed and then the good ones replaced, and the places that don't have piping at all, like where I live, there's no existing pipe. So we would have had contractors working on this piping, because you can actually pipe. You don't need to wait when the generation is done before you start that job. You understand? So that is, I think the pace of work is slow, in my own understanding. It's very slow, and that will put a question mark to that timeline. But of course, I commend his move.
Okay, so today is day 83, and we are still at the point of generating water, trying to channel it back to Enugu. And from what you've said now, most of the generation is being done along Ninth Mile and Oji River.
Yeah.
So my next question is, what are the plans going on? Because I think you've answered part of it, because a lot of us here in the metropolis are worried, like we're not seeing anything going on. But now from your explanation, most of the work is being done there, and we've not seen anything here. So what else do you think he should do, to make sure that he beats this deadline? Now you've talked about laying pipes. At what point, and being someone on the inside, you said you're a volunteer. What do you think? I don't even know how to phrase the question again, because now I'm really worried. I was worried before, but your response has increased my worries.
Okay.
Because I'm also in that area where I don't know if we have pipes or not, but at least we should see something. And so, what else do you think he should do, or he should be doing, to ensure that water gets into town faster than that already doing?
Yes. Some pipes are available.
Okay.
I mean, the pipes and the fittings are available. But then, in Enugu people, what they are interested in is let the water run, or let's see improvement from what it used to be,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I got to know this because I'm a practitioner in the field.
Yeah.
I work with the volunteers, so we visit. For instance, I have videos of all those where the drilling was done, the pumps were installed and all that, and you could see that the generation is going on. Now, I think as I mentioned before, to this idea that one contractor will handle every aspect of a particular project is amazing. I think he shouldn't make that mistake again, like other previous administration. All right. For instance, the geologist with the geophysicist do the exploration. That has been done. The geologists or hydrogeologists specifically supervise the drilling process and get it done, right? Of course, when that is done, it is not the geologists that do the piping.
Yeah.
I mean, the pipe laying, right?
Yes, yes.
I got to know some because I went for further training. I was discussing with you, I went for further training.
Yeah, you told me in Australia, yeah.
Went to understand how the white people do their thing and all that. I mean, and today I'm a certified European plumber. I could do plumbing.
Let's clap.
You
Let's clap
understand?
for my friend.
Because I said, apart from the generation, I want
Yeah.
to follow up and know what is happening at the
Okay.
other end.
That's
Because
good.
when you generate, you must supply. Nobody is interested in how many boreholes you've done. And note that the previous administration too had 8 boreholes out of 13 moribund boreholes rehabilitated.
Oh,
All right?
interesting.
And of course, someone like me, I will ask, why leave those ones that were rehabilitated? Of course, they pumped it and some pipes ruptured and all that, they left it. So now, it's Egondi Enugu now, right? Now, our money is there, that about over 600 million spent in the past administration. They spent that money in that project.
And it wasn't felt. The result wasn't felt
No,
across
we are taking backwards, rather. So, Dr. Mba, the present governor, has a lot to do. But then, I mean, his approach, he should improve on that and then make sure that people do why the generation is going on, the geologists, the engineers, there are others who, too, our local plumbers could be organized and trained and mobilized to the field to start laying pipes.
So
it's not an easy thing because by the time you start the laying, you're going to see that some places mapped out for the pipes to pass have been built up. People go and erect structures there. And of course, most of them probably got approval from government as well. So it's a whole lot of work.
I think that'll be story for another day.
Exactly.
Anyways, my next question will be, so let's assume he increases his pace of work, brings in more hands and everything. Do you think the entire city or the entire state will get water at that 180 days? Or do you think there are areas that will get before the others? And if there are areas, like on your own prediction or projection, what areas do you think would be the first recipients of this water before it gets to other parts?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think people where we already have existing pipes, the GRA, New Haven, part of Transekulu, Abakpa, okay, some of these areas we have water because they don't need fresh piping. Okay, so what happens is that, of course, that is what I expect. If you look at the demography, Enugu East has the highest population, it's over 500,000. Then Enugu North, followed by Enugu North, over 330 or so. And then Enugu South, around 320 something thousand. Okay, going by the data from the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. So we look at this population because the Enugu metropolis, comprising the Enugu North, Enugu East, Enugu South, is about 1.2 million, right? So we have estimated and we know that for 1.2 million people to have water, we are looking at 120 liters per day per capita per day, which means every person in a house, every household, if you have 6 people, each person is allocated 120 liters a day. It's expected that all you use is 120 liters. So 1.145 million liters. Can Enugu get that water? Can they generate that water? Even more.
Oh.
From what we have.
Okay,
yes,
where
so
he's generating
exactly.
from.
So we
Okay.
have it in sufficient quantity. The issue may be how to pipe this. And when it is piped, of course, when they finish, they are going to pipe the existing infrastructures, the pumps and all that. So these guys in the places I mentioned, we have water. Then where I live, that we just have one big pipe passing along Albany Road, we may not have water because they will now have to come there to check again and start piping.
Whoa.
Because Enugu, you see that within the last five days, in most of your videos, you usually do that. How Enugu is growing and population is growing. People are moving, migrating from here, you know.
And development
is ongoing. So the capital city, not everybody will have water. But remember that the governor said apart from the capital city, he will still push it to the rural areas.
Yeah, I was about asking that.
But let us have, water in the capital city first.
Okay.
Then from there, you can now begin to project to outside
the capital city. But this generation going on is also targeting the rural communities.
No.
No,
it's not.
This is just for the
it's for here and some part of areas in Enugu West.
Okay.
Of course, like part of 9th Mile, of course, will be taken care of.
Okay.
Just for you, exactly. All those
exactly.
areas will be taken care of within the city here. Then, of course, he will now decide to say, okay, because when it comes to local government, he may try to decentralize it and begin to work with local government chairman to be able to get
achieve that.
You need to involve the community.
Yes.
Because if you put up these infrastructures and the communities don't own it, in less than 1 year, we'll go back to where we are.
Okay. Yeah. So now, from what you've said, this current generation is for Enugu City, the capital city.
Now,
Then maybe when he achieves that, he can now go to step 2 for the rural communities and all that. All right. My next question will be about the challenges being faced by this. I recall in our last conversation before we started recording, you were saying things about a lot of people trying to politicize the move by the government. Because if Enugu or every home in Enugu has water or gets water, what it means that tanker people are put out of business. And I'm sure that wherever they are, in their association, in their groups, they might be kicking against it. Remember, I said might before you come for me. It's possible they might be kicking against it. So far, so good. Are there, groups or some sort of people kicking against this so far?
Yeah, we understand from government quarter, the water corporation, if you go there are a lot of politics,
Okay.
It's not everything we say in the media, but then if you look at it, the guys who drive tankers, they are in business.
Yeah.
And they know what they are doing because they don't want you to have water anyway, because if you have, you won't call them again.
Yeah.
And they enjoy it because they can increase the price anytime.
Of course, they do that every time.
They
it's
can
like
tell
every
you, exactly.
dry season, there's an increase.
Yeah, they can tell you they are coming, and in 2 weeks you won't see them, and you don't have any other choice. You keep waiting. So, yes, even some of us who are practicing geologists in Enugu, right? Some of us may not be happy.
Why?
You say, what is our job? Our job is basically explore. Put up borehole, and you have it.
Okay.
By the time every home has water, there may be no need for boreholes, right?
Okay.
Do you get that now?
Yeah,
so it takes people like us who have humanitarian heart. All we want to do is to make the society work.
Okay.
Because when the society work, we benefit. We benefit because it would be wrong for a geologist to think that it's only Enugu that he gets his
resources from.
Exactly. You need to be doing jobs other areas. And you need to begin to consult the same government who will maintain the borehole.
That's true.
So position yourself right, learn more skills, and be relevant.
Interesting.
That's the message I usually send to them. Now,
Okay.
for the tanker driver who they have consistently kicked against this, politically and sometimes in the open. They tell you, I mean, they have cliques, and then, do you know some of them go to the extent of relating with people? Because it's just like the power supply. There are lines, there are water lines. Where you get your supply in New Haven may not be where another person gets. So there are valves they could just go and turn off, and you won't have water. Right? And then they liaise with these guys and say, see, don't give this estate water, especially the estates. The major estates in Enugu. Don't give them water, right? And they go shut down the valve, okay? And those estate guys start running around, start calling tanker drivers, and you see the thing. Remember that the whole essence of carrying water up and down, our roads in the city, we are not really built to withstand such
Stress,
pressure.
yeah.
And you see roads failing day by day because you are hauling water up and down. You see accidents, avoidable accidents, because some of these tanker drivers move, in corners and where they shouldn't move. And you know how their brakes work from time to time. So we need to get the tankers off. You understand? There are other areas they could supply people who are doing farming. It's not only about drinking.
Yeah.
Okay? There are other, just diversify. When those days when they had bikes, they say if you buy a bike, then people will go hungry.
Yeah.
Today there are alternatives. So we
Yeah,
are saying that they should find alternatives. Okay? Politics is in everything, because even just like I usually recommend, if this administration makes the mistake of last administration, where you have people who are not professionals, all of them cluster around government and they are singing praises. They can see you're doing well, you are doing this. Okay, so if they make the same mistake, there will be issues. But if you bring in the right people, of course we know the governor is a technocrat, but then he's a politician as well. So it depends on the part of his experience he wants to bring. If he brings the political experience to begin to compensate people, we will all suffer it. And I will be the first person to shout and say, you are not doing well. I will look for the closest media house to shout that you're not doing well. If he's doing well, I will, of course, recommend and say, you're doing well. Okay. So that is it.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kenny, for coming. I really do appreciate your input. At least you've sort of cleared my doubt, because the last video I had here, we were complaining that despite the promise of the governor, 180 days, we've not seen anything go on. Because I say that because I recall during Sullivan's era, we saw actual work going in the cities, the pipe laying and all of that. But since you've said that they're still generating, and hopefully in the incoming weeks, they might start laying the pipes and all that, we are counting down. Today is day 83, and hopefully in 97 days, some parts of Enugu city will get water, other parts will come later on and all that. Thank you so much for joining. And just in case you need any water-related issues, right? Yeah. They can call on you. Yeah. I'll be dropping his contact in the description box. Please do make sure to call him. His services are top-notch. Every other person that has used the service on this channel has not had any reason to complain. And until I come your way next time, remember to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share your thoughts in the comment section, and let's take it off from there. Bye-bye.